this is going to be very brief. You had mentioned a month ago that you'd received a request from the hospital board for funding for next year. I made a copy of the current law, and where I'd like to talk about is paragraph C. In 2016, they require budgets to be submitted by the board, which to me means signed by the board president. It also states on or before June 1st, which neither is here nor there. We have a new administrator and understand things may be a little behind. My concern is that they're asking for 6 mills. They have made a promise to the hospital staff on equipment needs for next year, which was published. There's a nice spiral-bound booklet for spending and budget for 2017, which the hospital board members all have. And you guys could get a copy of that, I'm sure, from the admin staff up at the hospital. At the back of that, there is a single page, well laid out, showing what they spent for equipment in 16, what they're going to spend in 17, and what they're proposing for 18. I feel that for transparency needs, that you need available to you the itemized equipment requests that the hospital staff has stated that they need to upgrade and keep current their equipment needs. Basically, that is my only concern and thought.
So what you're basically saying is you want an itemized list of these items for 2018
for you fellows to
look over.
And it's transparency is what it is. You come in and you say we want 6 mills. Well, public really doesn't understand what 6 mills is. If 6 mills in this year's budget is $259,000, and they have listed their equipment needs for next year, then you guys can look at that and say, okay, I can concur with that. And it's your decision. I'm not getting into that. All I'm saying is, a little transparency here and protect yourselves, gentlemen. and then I'll let go of that,
And that's fine, but one of the problems we're going to face is none of us are going to be familiar with what this equipment is or what it's supposed to do.
And if I might interject, Terry, I was in contact with Kelly at the hospital. I have a copy of the spiral-bound audit report. I also have the 2017 budget. I also have approval to give it to Mr. Radcliffe, the commissioners, and Scott. So I've got copies for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
There was also a question in regards to a loan that was written off that I believe Mr. Radcliffe wanted to address. I am also enclosing in this a copy of the resolution and the minutes from that meeting, and it was approved by the auditors. So everything is fine on that front.
See, the budget assumptions are the very last part here. Let me see from my recollection here. I know it's towards the back end of this report where they had outlined, just to sort of call it. Oh, it's been updated. Okay. It's on page 3 of their plan.
So what is it you're concerned about, Rodney, that it's going down?
Yeah, if you see, they've itemized
see that along
what
with-
they need for, and that's the way it should be presented to you guys, so you know what you're going to authorize those funds for. And in that law that I showed you is broke down into 4 areas. One of them is equipment, and that's my only concern is the equipment. The board's going to be able to tell you how much they need for like remodeling projects, things like that. But again, the law breaks that out into the 4 broad areas. So if they're asking for 6 mils, then that would more than adequately fund all of their requests for equipment for 2018, and how else they might want to use that money, it's up to them to tell you guys. That's up to them and you. The old way that it had been done in the past was usually a letter came over from the hospital administrator asking for a set mill levy. But the 2016 statute changed and broke it out into 4 areas. It also kept in there the date that the budget should be sent to you in advance, which I said I'm not concerned about that, but
You're talking about the June 1 date.
yeah. But see, that allows you guys a chance to review it, get statistical data like this available to you so that you can make a sound judgment as to what to give the hospital. That basically is what I would like to discuss with you. The other matter that I had, I'll let you think about, and then you could discuss that with these gentlemen at your leisure.
I believe I provided the information.
The forgiveness of the,
It's
so-
in that packet.
huh? It's in there, yeah,
It's in
I'd
this
like to
packet.
look at that, so. Okay, that's it, gentlemen.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Did you notice how much of that is paid through donations and memorial funds and a lot of that's paid through grants?
And I think the new administrator understands, because they did say they didn't know if that budget had made it over to the commissioners after it was approved. And so I will make sure that that does get over, because as you'll see, it goes into effect January 1. So they can get that over here for your review after it's approved.
Did you want to talk to Amanda about these, or you want her to come in?
Well, what do you guys, are you guys,
I'm not familiar enough.
well, I'm not either.
Do you
I think
know?
we need to talk to
But,
her on next,
A $2,000 or $2,100 reduction in taxes is a big reduction in one farm. Why?
You want to see if she's here?
Sure.
And are you ready for duty?
Yes.
You know, talking about transparency. Is there anything in, I've been seeing there's a lot of people going to meetings and I have no idea. It seemed like they used to come in and ask about going to meetings.
You mean as far as,
Well, like the
Different departments?
Different departments. They got from, I'm not saying we're not gonna let them go, but it's like,
well,
I saw such and such down at A's, what were they doing down there? Oh, I don't know.
I think we kind of let the departments decide.
Decide
what their
on
needs
their own?
was.
Okay.
And as long as the cost wasn't greater than what the handbook dictates.
Amanda's taking a personal duty, so Dave's coming.
Okay.
We'll just table those.
Yeah, let's table those for now. Morning, Dave. Morning. Come in with a smile, I like that.
Not much news. Is that better yet?
Yeah, I like that too.
Why would you come in with a small? He's got two different pickups, and that's what,
I see you got two.
But that isn't worth smiling about. These was the poorest that we've got.
Really.
More
Condition-wise.
rust than what we've had. The
well,
others
you
have been-
didn't give nothing for them
That's the other
anyway,
thing
so
on it, so. Quit my complaining. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
I know what I was gonna ask you. Did you ever get a thumb for your excavator?
No, and we looked into it.
Well, if you're gonna tear down all these buildings around the county, you kinda need one, don't you?
We debated that. For a cat, it cost about 18 to 20,000 for a thumb. It'd be a hydraulic thumb. A fixed thumb would be about, I'm thinking 5,000. So I have been researching that a little bit. Yeah, we looked into it. we keep getting volunteered for these jobs by the commissioners, and so.
Well, I know, that brings up a good point. One of the, I'm sorry.
Gonna say, if you're just gonna complain that way, you can just get to fix them for $5. Go ahead, Kurt.
One of the bids for the demolition of the existing buildings up here, did the county agree to haul some of that off or to remove trees? There's a couple of points up there that we're still kind of loose on.
I know we're supposed to haul, demolish and everything of that one section. And then I think there was a tree where there's gonna have a turnabout that I think they're gonna take out. But the pavers, I thought somebody else was gonna be taken out that's in the way.
Well, see, and somebody else thought that was gonna be us. I don't know. I'll ask.
I thought they said someone would probably be taking them pavers and using them elsewhere.
Well, I happened to see Eddie the other day, and I just kind of put a bug in his ear, and maybe he'll have the answer when he comes in later. He's supposed to come in this morning at 11, but there was just a couple of questions about who's going to do what, and my memory's not reliable enough to remember that.
Yeah, and see, some of that, we couldn't do anything. I know there was a dead tree or something, or some bad trees or something need moved there. Because these pavers, we wasn't going to do anything with it. And they said, well, now the pavers will be out of there, you can take that tree out. So that's where it was, but that's all further away.
Well, I guess we'll just have to discuss that more with, actually, it was Brock McAtee that come up and asked me.
Okay.
Apparently in his bid, those things were listed. And he said, no, wait a minute. The county was going to do it,
Okay.
but we'll work it out. I
Yeah.
told him.
Looks like someone would reuse them, so
Yeah,
just scrap them out.
yeah. Well, that's a minor thing, but
Yeah.
it was a question that was brought up to me.
So no, back to thumb. We are researching that a little bit more, seeing if we did a fixed thumb, we'd probably put it on the Komatsu. So the hydraulic, because of ours setup or whatever, ours doesn't have it, but he said it would improve your resale when it come time to, get rid of it. Because it's a hydraulic kit and everything else you got to add to it.
I was thinking more just, you're probably gonna have to have it if you're in the building demolition business. I mean, just tear some of that up. I mean,
It would speed it up. Plus, the other thing, if you was around, a bunch of logs jammed in bridges or something, you can reach out and get them pretty easy with that. So it's just not for, a couple building purpose too. So
you're just gonna have to quit wasting money on pickups.
okay. All right, yeah, I'm looking into them thumbs a little more. So as far as the work done, we did haul some of that asphalt over, and then we got shut off. We were supposed to haul a lot more. I don't know what the confusion was there. Anyway. And then we hauled dirt to the landfill C&D and got that covered back up and then did some graveling. Tells you the road's there and elevating. Back to mowing.
Where'd you get the dirt for the landfill?
Off one of the piles.
Oh, in the back. You just hauled it from the
Yeah.
back to the front.
Yep.
I thought maybe you got it over by the railroad tracks or Weaver or something.
No.
How do you make the determination of what roads need to be elevated and what don't?
Oh, generally, the volume of traffic or drainage problems or something like that.
Or complaints.
Complaints, being honest, is some of it. I mean, if they've been, and water standing on the road was one of them. I mean, they was having trouble getting through, didn't have any drainage on it, so we had to do that one. Two of them, I guess, that we did there. And the other one wasn't draining, and it was just draining into the yard because it's coming down the road, so.
I just didn't know. Somebody asked me about that. How do we choose which roads to be elevated and which not? And I'm like, I don't know. You're gonna have to talk to Dave.
Yeah.
So
One thing I have, Byron wanted to know if we could close the landfill Saturday morning for the parade, then you'd open back up there again, so.
sure.
For the last few years, so. Okay,
Might as well enjoy it with his family too.
Okay.
I always stayed open and nobody showed up anyway, so
Well, that's it. There's, most of them are over here,
one or two
so.
people might, but that's about it.
Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you, Dan.
Well, if Eddie gets here, we might be able to get out of here in decent time.
You know better now.
They had a meeting at 10, so I got here soon till 11.
Yeah.
Dave puts a nice report together every month.
I agree.
I'd like to call executive session for non-elected personnel for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So move.
Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
10 minutes of not, or of executive session for non-elected personnel.